Okay, brothers, now let's go to the episode of Enoch. This is such an amazing passage. What we're going to do over here, brothers, is we're going to do two things. First, we'll understand Enoch from Bereshit 5 and its connection with Hebrews 11. Hebrews 11 helps us understand exactly what happened, even more. And then, after we understand, we are going to then focus on Bereshit 5, which would add to our understanding. So we're going to do that, but first let's understand this first aspect. Let's read verses 21 to 24 of Bereshit 5. It says, Enoch lived 65 years and became the father of Methuselah. Then Enoch walked with God 300 years after he became the father of Methuselah. And he had other sons and daughters. So all the days of Enoch were 365 years. Enoch walked with God and he was not, for God took him. Okay. Now before we go to Hebrews, let me show you another passage that Rashi connects over here. Now those who understand what happens over here, they don't have a problem. It's clear that Enoch was taken to heaven. The super apostles will never say that Enoch went to heaven, because Enoch is a type of the church. Enoch was one man, church is one body. And they will never say that Enoch went to heaven because he's a type of the ecclesia. So those who understand 21 to 24, it's fantastic, and we're going to go deeper into this. But before we go to Hebrews 11, let's see Yechezkel. The verse over here in 524 says, God took him. The word over there in the Hebrew is lakak. And Rashi says that Enoch died. Rashi says that Eliyahu was taken to heaven. His explanation his explanation for Beth Divrei Hayamim 21 says that he was taken to heaven. In his explanation on Beth Melachim, he says Eliyahu was hidden, but he says about Eliyahu having been to heaven from 2 Chronicles 21. But for Enoch, he says that Enoch died. And the reason he says this, Rashi says, is because here it says God took him. The word is lakak, and the same word is used. Lokeach is the word, which is a stem of lakak in Yechezkel. When Lord tells Yechezkel, I take away from thee the desire of thine eyes. The Lord speaks about his wife, and she dies over there. Let's read that and understand what's happening. It says, Yechezkel chapter 24, we'll read verses 15 to 18. And the word of Adonai came to me, saying, Son of man, behold, I am about to take from you. The word over there is lokeach. That comes from lakak. It's a stem of lakak. I'm about to take from you the desire of your eyes with a blow. But you shall not mourn and you shall not weep, and your tears shall not come. Groan silently, make no mourning for the dead. Bind your turban and put your shoes on your feet, and do not cover your mustache, and do not eat the bread of men. So I spoke to the people in the morning. In the evening my wife died. And in the morning I did as I was commanded. And the people ask him, what does this mean? And he tells them, we find in the passage that Yechezkel says that Lord is going to, the desecration of the Mikdash would happen. Lord would make that to happen. And the passage tells us what would befall their sons and daughters. And that Yechezkel was a sign to them. Here, the word lakak, the Hebrew word over there is lokeach. And Rashi connects these two and says that Enoch also died. Enoch was a righteous man, but Lord made him to die sooner, so that Lord took him from doing evil. That he would be swayed, he was in his mind, he could be swayed to do evil. That's what Rashi says. But the thing over here is the passage in Yechezkel clearly tells us that she died. It's very clear, the passage says she died, and Rashi was not a believer. It pains us. He was not a believer, and he would not, even if he read the Brit Chadashah, he did not believe it. And the Brit Chadashah tells us that Enoch did not die. Let's read Hebrews 11 verse 5. It says, by faith Enoch was taken up so that he would not see death. You see this? He did not see death. Very clear. And he was not found because God took him up. For he obtained the witness that before his being taken up, he was pleasing to God. Okay, brothers, let's understand this passage. A few Greek words, very important Greek words over here. Now the thing is, very clearly we understand that Lord took him, and Enoch did not see death. Because he's a type of the church. He's a type of the church, the ecclesia. Now the thing over here is, this verse does not have the word harpazo. The word harpazo is not found over, it's not written in the Greek, but it has the word metatithemi. What metatithemi means is transport, transfer. By implication, it means change, a change that happens. It also at times means to turn, perverted, to pervert. But that is not, obviously, that's not what it means in this passage. In Jude 4, it is used that way, which speaks of those who have secretly crept in. These super apostles are the ones who have secretly crept in, among other false teachers. So the word over here, 2 times the verb is used, metatithemi, and once the noun is used, metathesis. What metatithemi means is transfer. It also means to change. And this is what happens, brothers, in the harpazo. In the harpazo, not only there is a change, not only there is a transportation that takes place, not only the transfer one place to another, obviously from earth to heaven, but also a change in our body. That the translation takes place, we are changed. And that is what is written over here. Such an amazing word, the perfect word that tells us what happens in the harpazo. The false teachers and some who teach unknowingly, because of the critics, like I said in the beginning, they say that heaven is not mentioned over here. The word heaven isn't mentioned. So then how can we say that Enoch went to heaven? And they say that he was taken to some other place. Translation, change in the body, is not required when you go from one place on earth to another. Even if you go from the earth to the moon, it's not required because you are in the physical realm. Translation, change in the body, happens when you go from earth to heaven where Lord resides. And that is what is mentioned over here. Even in the Septuagint, in the Greek, the word over there is metateken. The same word that we find over here. And we understand that Enoch was taken from earth to heaven and a change in his body. The translation. And the scripture speaks of Enoch having been taken to heaven. Brothers, there's another verse. Now this verse, Rashi has not mentioned, and we haven't come across the ones that we saw, the super apostles that we saw, we haven't come across them quoting this verse, but there's a good chance that some of the other super apostles might have, or if they haven't, in the future they might. Quote this verse, refer to this verse in connection to Enoch. Through Lord's help, we are showing this to you in advance. It says, Yeshua 57. We're going to read the first 3 verses. The righteous man perishes and no man takes it to heart. And devout men are taken away while no one understands. For the righteous man is taken away from evil. He enters into peace. They rest in their beds, each one who walked in his upright way. But come here, you sons of a sorceress, offspring of an adulterer and a prostitute. And then the passage goes on to speak about Israel and the detestable acts that they had committed. But when you read this passage, you understand that it is talking about righteous man perishes, taken away. Now the word in the Hebrew taken away is not lakak. But the passage is talking about being taken away from evil. And there is a very good chance they would connect this with Enoch. If Enoch was taken away, like Rashi says, that so that he would not do evil, which he felt in his mind, he would be swayed to do evil. Enoch was taken away. Righteous one is taken away over here. It says, each one who walked in his upright way. Very similar to Enoch, but not similar because they rest in their beds. And we know that Enoch did not die. So the reason we have kept this verse is because some of them might refer to this to twist, to deliberately mislead hundreds, thousands astray. So through Lord's help, we are showing you in advance. The passage helps us understand that these righteous are taken away. They die before their time. Lord makes that to happen, takes them away from evil. But in Enoch's case, Lord took him to heaven. He did not see death. Okay, brothers, now let's see another amazing aspect from Genesis 5.